you guys think Leatherface knows he's a bad guy? Or is cutting up hippies just like working for his dad's law firm for him, like part of the family business?
He's probably just happy to be putting food on the table.
See, I always assume the monsters know that they're jerks. I mean, you can't put on a costume and go around terrorizing innocent people and still think you're the hero, right?
What up, Bojos? Scored us all a stomach ache from some stupid kid who was fleeing me. F***ing Soren.
Okay, rescinded.
Man in Black.
Aren't they already the bad guys in their own narrative?
Ever wondered what it would be like to die in a plane crash?
Not in the Will Smith movies. Those films show this shadow government organization as a group of fun-loving BFFs who are just trying to do what's best for society. But really, they are actively preventing first contact just so they can make a quick buck off of some Velcro.
So who pays for all this? We hold the patents on a few gadgets that we confiscated from out-of-state visitors. Velcro, microwave oven.
They are a blood-soaked racket, gobbling up human progress and leaving behind a foggy trail of memory diarrhea. Ew.
So you just flash that thing, it erases her memory, and you just make up a new one?
A standard issue neuralizer.
And that weak-ass story is the best you can come up with.
I don't know. I'd rather have just vague memories of my husband leaving me than one very vivid memory of him becoming an alien ski mask.
Don't you think it's a little bit weird that Vincent D'Onofrio's wife's gonna get told by her neighbors and family about the one time she told the press that her husband's skin was stolen by aliens and she'll have no memory of doing it? That is some varsity level gaslighting.
Okay, well, if we're going to talk about Lynchian nightmares, then I want to talk about Pleasantville.
Is that the one where the wife from Face Off masturbates a tree on fire?
What? No, it's... Actually, oh yeah, you're right, that totally did happen. No, it's also the one where teenagers get sucked into a wholesome 50s sitcom and completely upturn their society.
Yeah, it's supposed to be this subtle allegory for race relations, and ends up being this painfully transparent allegory for race relations. It's like, once you become enlightened, you stop being black and white. Excuse me. What?
Only by learning that these are real people with hopes and dreams do we have to accept that the original kids are teens replaced. We're essentially just snuffed out of existence. This means that the Enlightenment all started when two alien beings inhabited or snatched the bodies of two unsuspecting teenagers.
And then to everybody resisting, it feels like an invasion. Wow, that is a dark interpretation of racial progress.
Yeah, but that's always the draw of pod people, right? Progress and uniformity at the cost of identity?
Hold up, I'm losing track of who's an actual racist.
We're getting off topic. It's one thing to accidentally participate in some horrific universe, but I want to talk about straight up monsters. Characters that we perceive as heroes who actually prey on the fears of others.
Oh, Beauty and the Beast!
Nope. We said we weren't going to do monsters with a heart of gold. Also, I'm not mad, but Disney is sort of my jam.
Not the Beast, the house. Imagine that you're one of the villagers that Gaston recruited to go monster hunting. You're traipsing through the forest for a couple of hours expecting to see, like, I don't know, a wild bear or an uppity capybara that already dragged a family off into the forest, and then you see a spooky castle and...
Bam! Brutally murdered by a bunch of fancy furniture. Curb stomped by decor.
The surviving villagers never even see the Beast. I mean, they go back to their provincial lives, rambling on and on about this demon house that tried to eat them like hungry, hungry hippos. That is literally the plot to a Japanese horror film called House.
Hogwarts. Hogwarts has everything Beauty and the Beast has, but better. Possessed objects, moving paintings, monsters, literal ghosts. I mean, your average non-magical person stumbles upon Hogwarts, they're gonna be making chocolate frogs in their whatever British people wear instead of pants. Breeches?
But who's gonna stumble upon a secluded wizarding school? I mean, the whole success of the Harry Potter franchise counts on the fact that muggles are oblivious to magic.
Okay, well, first of all, they prefer to be called no-mage. Now, it's Katie. Katie's the racist.
You filthy little mudblood.
And even though non-magicians are often very oblivious, there are countless instances where we see that's not the case. Like when, little witch boy first starts growing his sorcerer glands. Thanks.
Anytime.
Much like HP, my adolescence was a series of conspicuous animal mishaps and wand explosions. But to any outside observer, that charming rite of passage looks like the fumbling first steps of the Antichrist.
Talks to animals, can make stuff happen with his mind. Gnarly forehead scar. Wow, that is literally Damien from The Omen.
And that's the non-effed up wizard. I mean, imagine what all the people at the orphanage thought of mini Voldemort.
I can make bad things happen to people who are mean to me.
Harry Potter isn't even the only supernatural coming-of-age story that mirrors the works of the devil. Jean Grey from the X-Men, she is the exact clone of the fire-summoning, people-exploding Carrie from the Stephen King book, except with less naggy parents.
Say it! No, Mama! Say it! He was weak!
Now, these all feel too easy to me. Of course, supernatural powers are going to be confused with demonic attributes. Like, accusing things that we don't understand of being witchcraft is the default setting of humanity.
So, superheroes, sci-fi, and fantasy are off the table. What's left?
Magical romantic comedies.
Is that a genre?
Groundhog Day, Benjamin Button, Stranger Than Fiction.
The Time Traveler's Wife, Wings of Desire, The Lake House.
Bride of Frankenstein, Bride of Chucky, Bride of the Monster, Bride of the Gorilla, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Bride, Eyes Bride Shut.
Somebody stop it, my brain can't not categorize these.
MASH rom-coms are like the perfect origin story for an entirely new type of slasher film, the supernatural stalker. You ever see What Women Want? A creepy womanizer is given gender-specific mind-reading powers so powerful that he can communicate with dogs.
Monsieur, I need to poop.
Now imagine if that power wasn't given to Mel Gibson, but some lunatic who has no respect for women, or authority, or an entire race of people.
You're right. He is totally a psychic beastmaster in that movie. And instead of becoming Dr. Doolittle or catching lady criminals, he just uses his powers to have sex real good.
Nick Marshall is a sex god!
And permanently messes up Marissa Tomei.
Then I'm not nuts, not undesirable, not rejected by another guy.
Or go back and rewatch Love Actually. Everybody in that movie acts like a wolfish maniac. There's an English waiter who goes to the middle of America just to try and find some strangers to f***. There's a guy who videotapes his best friend's bride for his own collection and has never really spoken to her before. Colin Firth flies to France to go find his housekeeper and propose to her after he saw her naked in a swamp.
Don't forget Liam Neeson. Makes his 10-year-old son break through security at a jumpy post-9/11 airport. What's this have to do with horror?
Everything that everybody does in that movie is terrifying, crazy, and irrational, especially if you imagine it as a one-sided act. Imagine a guy comes to your house in the middle of the night with these hobo love cards. I mean, that's Cape Fear behavior 99% of the time. And the most haunting part is that nobody seems creeped out by any of this. It's like there's some sort of brain-eating virus that's sucking away at their danger sensors. The love in Love Actually is actually a plague. These aren't a bunch of different vignettes that we're watching. This is a story about an outbreak moving from one person to another and fundamentally changing human behavior.
Lovely.
You know, in the original script, Rowan Atkinson was supposed to be like a angel just tugging at the heartstrings of all these people, just shitting on their free will for fun. I mean, what gives him the right? What the gives him the right?
So you've seen Love Actually like a bunch, huh?
Did anyone win? It feels like nobody won.
I think Soren deserves some points for passion. Good costume, too. I like the great attention to detail with the bloody nose.
Oh my God. My nose is bleeding. Why didn't you tell me my nose is bleeding? Am I wearing a hospital gown? Why am I wearing a hospital? Was I at the hospital? Did I get hurt? What is all this candy doing here? Why are none of you doing anything? Why are you all sitting there? Why won't you help me? Help me!
We will when we're done eating the candy.
Candy.
Yeah, jeez.
Slow your roll.
Calm down, dude, yeah.
Go through all the Rolos already?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching that episode of After Hours. Of course, this one was sponsored by Werther's. Werther's, the only candy you might find in the pockets of your dead relatives.
Werther's. If you're there, we're there.
Werther's. Where there's a Werther, there's a Werther. A Wilther.
Werther's. Were Thursdays?
Will there, won't there? That's good enough.
Was it worth it, you guys? Was it worth it?